Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm saying welcome back to me and welcome back to you. It's been some time, my friends, my live friends, my women, my wealth creators. I am so excited to be back in front of you, helping you to learn and leverage your finances. If you're with me live, let me know in the chat and let me know if you can hear me. Just want to make sure you can hear me before I get to this good stuff I'm about to drop for you today. So I hope everyone has been doing well. And let me see. Looks like there's sound. All right, so we're here. So today we're going to talk about unblocking your path to wealth, unblocking your path to wealth without sacrificing the joys of life. We work so hard to build wealth, and sometimes we feel like we have to sacrifice everything for it. So let's get right into it. I'm your girl, Saran. It's been a long time, but I'm back, like welcome back, Carter style. Anyway, I'm here. I help high earning women achieve financial freedom and feel empowered without sacrificing the joys of life using my 3-step financial framework. So, we are excited. Today, I have some announcements for you. You want to stay to the end. I have built an amazing community for my women, and you are the first to be invited to it. So, I want to make sure you're here. So, let's just talk a little bit about what's going on. What's going on with you? What's going on with me? It's been about maybe 4 months since I've been with you. I've built my business. I got a new home. I moved. I sold a home. Did a whole bunch of stuff. I revamped the business, rebranded. I hope you see my beautiful new green, white, and gold colors. I am excited, but I'm excited for this rest of the year and what we're going to be talking about with our finances. We're going to get into places where we can kind of tap into and knock out those money traumas, those things that scare us when we get ready to buy stuff, those things that we think about when we want to make a big purchase or a small purchase, or start thinking about, if I buy this, what if this leads to me losing the money, not making enough, or whatever it is. And the next thing you know, you feel like you're a bag lady in New York because you bought a $50 product, but really that's just your money fears or your money traumas talking to you that we haven't quite overcome. And one of the things I know that we don't do a lot is we don't actually name them and embrace them and know that they can still exist, and you can still move yourself into a rich state of mind and just deal with them as you go. So that's one of the things. And so one other thing I want to explain to you is that when we start to talk about finance and building our wealth and embracing the wealth creator that's within us, then we're gonna start bringing up some old stuff. It's kind of like when you put that shovel in the ground, you're building your garden, and you start digging, and you're like, "Ooh, I didn't know all these earthworms are here. I didn't know all these other bugs and critters live down here, and all those other things." Those things, aren't my thing. But for people who do that, and or even when you start to embrace a new journey and it gets hard and it gets difficult, and you have these emotions, and you don't know where they're coming from. I'll give you a real life example. I sold my home a couple of months ago in June. I had been living there for 20 years. I bought that house when I was 27 years old. And I guess I just told you how old I am now, but whatever. But I sold the house 20 years, and I had been there 20 years. It wasn't forced. I chose to. I was excited to do it. And all those things, it wasn't, how they say, it wasn't a negative situation. But guess what? It still brought up all these emotions. I'm packing thinking, what am I doing selling my house? I love this place. All the great things that happened there. And then you start digging out stuff you didn't know existed. You're like, oh, remember this, remember that. And you start thinking about, should I separate with it because I've had it for so long? Or why this or why that? And it comes with simultaneous joy and sadness, you know. And those type of emotions come up with anything we do with our money. And the longer you had something, or you had the attachment, or the things that are happening, it can be there, right? But let me tell you what I found in that process. I found that if I embraced who I was and where I was going, the sadness went away and I could focus on the joy. And as I moved through that process, I was able to find so much joy in moving from that home that I spent after I had everything out and I had gotten the house deep clean because we all need a deep cleaning, but when you move out, you find out just how much it needs a deep cleaning. Did the deep cleaning, and I literally went back in the house, lit a candle, and I prayed over that home and gave that home thanks for the shelter, for the love, for the joy, for all the things that it provided for me for 20 years. Through all the ups and downs, through the ins and outs, through the family fights, through the family get-togethers, through the money ups, the money downs, the places that it took me and was always there for me. And in that process, when I finished praying over the home, I gave thanks and I said, please be a blessing to the new family that will purchase this home. Because a new family purchased a home. A new family is there now enjoying it and making it their space. And so in that process of embracing that part of my financial journey, I was able to free myself from the sadness of moving. And that doesn't mean that I don't still think about the old house and, oh, this is cool in my other house. But I think about the joy of all the benefits I have at my new place, right? All the new things I can do, all the different things, all those things. But we don't often recognize and allow ourselves to recognize the transitions that we're going through, the emotions that come up with it, because we're so busy barreling through. Let me just push through. Let me just push through. But I took some time to sit and be in the moment, and it didn't take but 10 minutes to really just recognize and acknowledge, where I was, and then also acknowledge the physical space and what it had brought to me and done for me, the gratitude that we show. I talk about gratitude a lot. And the gratitude I was able to show for being in that home, right? Because being there, tying it back to money, we always think about money and everybody always says money, money, money. And I'm actually shooting a podcast next week to talk more about how money is more spiritual than physical. And in that sense, money is just a tool. Money is a tool that we need to do what we want to do. Money is a tool to take care of our new babies. Money is a tool to provide for our kids to go to school, if you pay for your kids to go to school, or transportation to school. Money is a tool to feed yourself and your family. Money is a tool to make sure you have clothes on your back. Money is a tool to make sure that you can create some type of happiness in your life. Maybe you're buying a trip. Maybe you're buying a new home. Maybe you're buying a new car. Maybe you're buying a new business. Maybe you're investing in yourself by purchasing coaching. Whatever those things are, we have to start looking at it as more of a tool rather than an object to possess and hold and squeeze real tight. Because you don't get any more out of it by squeezing it real tight. You're just squeezing it real tight, right? And making sure that we're able to tap in and use that tool and make that tool work for us. Because if I give you a hammer right now, say, hey, here's a hammer, you're like, why don't you just give me a hammer? But if I give you a hammer and the instructions on how to build a bookshelf with it, the hammer has more use than me just giving you a hammer. If I give you a hammer and say, hey, you're going to join this team and become an apprentice and learn how to build a house with this hammer, that hammer now has become magnified and more valuable than me just saying, hey, here's a hammer. And that's the way we have to look at our money, because what essentially we've done, and I'll talk to my ladies who are my generation at this point. We watched a lot of we watched Whitley and them went back to school, went to college, and we said we are going to college, right? And so we went to college because that seemed to be the gateway to make more money. We went to college, we got student loans. We'll talk about that again. We got student loans, we got into debt, we got out, we got jobs that paid pretty decently. I know a lot of people I graduated with. We came out of school making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year, which was a lot of money at that time for someone that's 22. Now, we got that money, but nobody ever told us how to use it as a tool. They only told us how to go to work, pay your bills, go to work, pay your bills, have a little fun, go to work, pay your bills. In there was no education on how to use that money to grow and help you to leverage money for your future and for your now. right? Because you need money now. And so you want to figure out how you can use it now, but you want to figure out how you can use it in the future too, because that becomes, the split. Well, do I spend this $1,000 now or do I hold it for later? Or how do I figure out how to leverage it where I can have access to it now and use my money more than one time and use it later? These are the things that we're not getting. And if I hear one more time, well, nobody taught me about finances in high school or college or in my family. Well, I'm here to tell you something. It's your responsibility to learn. And if nobody told you those things, it's your responsibility to teach your children and your grandchildren and your nieces and nephews and your godchildren. So it's your responsibility to get this information. Now, the other thing is that we got to identify what wealth means to us. I see so many people trying to live somebody else's dream, right? I see so many other people, especially now with social media. We see, oh, this person is taking pictures at this on this trip or in this fabulous house or this fabulous car. Well, here's the deal. Let's pull the covers back. It ain't theirs. They at somebody else's house. They pulled up, they rented it, they did whatever. And that's not everybody, but some people are fronting, as we said in the South Jamaica Queens. They're faking the funk. So you got to decide what wealth means to you, right? For me, wealth is not worrying about if I miss a paycheck for whatever reason. Wealth worried about if I can pay my bills. Wealth is not worrying about if some emergency comes up and I want to help someone in my family, then that's wealth. I don't have to think about it and I can give and not loan, right? Because I don't loan money to anyone, right? But if I can give it to you and I choose to give it to you, being able to do it and not think about it, right? So we have to start thinking about what wealth means. Wealth to me is planning 4 or 5 trips outside of the country each year and not even blinking, not even thinking about worrying about how I'm going to pay for it, how's it going to end, what I'm going to do when I get there, will I have enough money to do the excursions or this or that or whatever. No, just being able to pay for the trip and go where I want to go and do what I want to do when I get there. And so for you, wealth might be different. Wealth might be making sure your kids have a full college fund. Wealth might be buying your first house. Wealth might be buying your second house. Wealth might be getting your dream car. But you have to define that. And here's the cool thing about wealth. You don't get to just define it once. It can evolve. It can evolve as you evolve if you choose to evolve, right? Because growth is a choice. So the other thing is that we got to start sharing some of these powerful stories of how we went from the bottom to the top, or how we were on the top, hit the bottom, and came back to the top. Right? I was just with some of my financial colleagues about an hour ago, and one of them, she's in Connecticut. She was sharing a story about how she went through her business and challenges, and her and her husband figured out, what was going on. They had to file bankruptcy and how they were able to bounce back and now have $1 million plus portfolio. And so we're not sharing these stories. We just see the glamour. Then we think, oh, that person's always had it. And then they never win anything to get to it. But we got to share the stories. And I'm going to do a better job of sharing my story too. I got lots of them, but I'm not going to share all of them. I'll share more things to show you, because people think when they see you where you are now, you've always been there and you never went through anything. And that can be the furthest from the truth. Every human being you encounter has some story. The question is, did that story propel them forward into a better life, a better situation, a better mindset, a better financial situation, or did it hold them back and hold them hostage in their mind, mostly? Because that's the biggest jail that we all live in. People always talk about worrying about incarceration and all the things that are going on, and those things are important. But more of us are in jail in our minds than anywhere else in the world physically. That mental jail is probably one of the worst jails you want to be in, because it's a place of torment. Now, we're going to get into some details as we go through. If you go back and watch any of my old videos, I'm going to give you some game on budgeting, on investing, on strategies, on building yourself up. But I also got some new financial super friends who I'm going to bring, who we're going to talk to. We're going to talk real stuff. And we're going to get into some of the myths, because people think that because You make $50,000 a year, you can't be a millionaire. That's the furthest from the truth. They think just because somebody makes 150,000 that they're better off, and that may not be true. Because depending on how you manage your money, spend your money, invest your money, you could be screwed making $150,000, and somebody making 50,000 could be more in a better position than you are financially. We're going to explore a lot of ways to break through some of our limited belief systems with money, some of the mindsets that we hold, some of those old myths and stories. You're going to have bad luck if you're not going to get any money if you put your purse on the floor. If a man doesn't walk through your door on January 1 with money in his right pocket and his hand on his left knee, no, nothing will ever come to you, right? And these are old wives' tales, but you get what you believe. Let me say that again. You get exactly what you believe. God is so powerful that if you tell God that you're broke and you're never going to be anything, you're never going to have anything, he'll give you exactly what you get, what you ask for. But if you speak to yourself and say, I am wealthy, I am well, I am moving in the right direction, God will see, oh, this person already has said thank you and has shown gratitude for the abundance that's coming. Let me try to send opportunities that they can take advantage of so that they can get this wealth that they already believe that they have, right? You see, I didn't say send you money. I said send you opportunities to make the money that you believe you already have. Because it doesn't, a lot of times I hear people say, oh, I'm just going to manifest $3,000. And I was like, okay, how are we doing it? Like, what's our plan? Are we selling something? Do we have a new program we're doing? What are we doing? And they just want $3,000 to show up. And I'm just using that as an example. But the reality is, what if that $3,000 you never made it because it was disguised as an opportunity to make $3,000? What if it was a door that you needed to open to get to the next door where the $3,000 was? And that's where, we as a people, we have to reframe how we're getting to wealth. A lot of times we just think that, it's somebody's gonna just come hand you a stack of money. No, they may hand you a stack of opportunities, and they may hand you opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and you keep passing it up. And then you say, God, I can't believe you didn't send me the money. Right? It's kind of like the story that they told. I heard this story a long time ago. It was around the time after the Katrina hurricane, and the one guy was like, "Oh, he was on his roof. He's like, oh, God's gonna save me." So he got on his roof. He's like, I'm not worried about it. God's gonna save me. I'm waiting for God to rescue me. So the first person comes by in a paddle boat. Hey, I'm here. Jump in. Let's go to safety. He's like, no, I'm good. I'm waiting on God to save me. Then somebody comes by in the motorboat. Hey, we're going to safety. You want to jump in the boat? The guy's like, no, I'm waiting. God's going to save me. Then somebody comes by on a little jet ski. And he's like, all right, you want to ride? I got a space for you. I can bring you back, right? And then the guy's like, no. Then the helicopter comes by, drops the rope, like, hey, come on, let's go. And he's like, no, I'm waiting on God to save me. And then the guy dies, goes to heaven. He's like, God, I was waiting on you to save me. He's like, who do you think sent the paddle boat, the jet ski, the helicopter, and the speedboat to come and get you? You didn't take the opportunity, right? And that's where we're going to be digging through, and we're going to be providing that for my ladies, for my women, my wealth creators. I created a community just for you. It's called Sister Sense, Unblocking Your Path to Wealth. It is a Facebook group, so if you're watching me on YouTube, you'll have to come to the Facebook group. Just come in just for that. You don't have to come for anything else. I know a lot of people don't always do it, but all my Facebook friends, you're going to want to request to join that group as soon as possible. I'm going to be dropping the link on Wednesday to join. That is our go live date. I'll go live again on Wednesday to talk about it, but you're going to want to get into that community because we're going to be doing all kinds of things to help you elevate your finances. We're going to have financial challenges to help you grow and build and change where you are in your life. We're going to create workspaces where you can work with one another and create some accountability among other women who are trying to work on their money and create wealth for their families and for their generations. We're going to have some opportunities where you can bring in the family because we got to educate our families, right? I have so many clients or we see the stories of someone who left a bunch of money to their family and the family blew through it in, a year. Well, that's because they didn't have any money education. They didn't know how to manage that money. And so we have to start making the money, learning to manage the money, and teaching our family how to use it and earn it and learn it. So I see someone say they can't wait. I can't wait either. I'm so excited. But in there, we're going to just do so much. I have a bunch of podcasts lined up where I'm booked with so many people to do so many speaking engagements because we got to go. I have helped put myself to a higher level because I want to make sure that I share the gift that God has given me of information to empower women to transform their lives financially. And I don't want to be a bad servant or a bad steward. And I'm going to give you everything I got because that's the most important thing. And you give me what you got, and I'm going to give you everything we got. And we got to make each other, and I'm going to hold you accountable to changing your life financially because only you can do it. Only you. A long time ago, I learned this the hard way because, I grew up kind of rough. I didn't grow up with my mom. I grew up with my grandfather, who was awesome, but I had to figure a lot of things out on my own very, very quickly. And that didn't mean that made me stronger, right? And some people might say, "Oh, it's so sad you didn't go with your mom." But being with my grandfather, who was a man's man, and he didn't do woman stuff, I had to figure out woman stuff on my own. I had to figure out how to do certain things, and that made me stronger. That made me resilient. And I knew when I called him for something, there was going to be a yes or no answer, and I would have to figure things out. That was his way of showing me love. He was tough, but he definitely was loving. And so in those things, we're going to be tough. I'm going to be tough with you, but it's because I love you and I want to see you prosper and I want to see you grow. And don't talk yourself out of it, right? Because so many people get here and say, "Oh, I can't go to that financial group. My stuff is just not together." Well, that's what the group is for, to get you together. So don't talk yourself out of it because you feel like you're not together. We're going to get you together, girl. We're going to fix your crown. We're going to fix your hair. We're going to put you on right back out there so you can look good and do what you're doing. We're going to get us out of this space of feeling like, wealth means we have to show it. Wealth doesn't mean all the time that you got to have a $5,000 bag and not $5,000 in it. You got to decide sometimes what we're going to do. I'm not against the $5,000 bag though. Don't let me fool you. If that's your thing, that's your thing. If that's your joy, that's your joy. We're not taking that away. But what we want to do is we want to reframe your mindset, get you to feel good and feel empowered about making the changes, right? And we're gonna have fun doing it. I don't know about you, but I like to have fun. I think, I probably should have been a comedian, but that I haven't gotten there yet. So as soon as I go to the Comedy Fest in Vegas, when y'all see me on stage, that girl's funny. But we're going to push you through. That's right, Relevant Television. We're going to push you through to the next level, whatever your next level is. Not my next level, not Sherelle, she's in the chat. Not Sherelle's next level, not Mary's next level, but your next level, because we're all at different levels and we just have to be there for one another, right? So we're going to just break down some of these things. So I'm also going to share mad resources. And I have to say that because I'm still a New Yorker at heart. Mad resources, mad books, mad articles, stories, ways that you can triumph, things that can make you feel good about what you're doing, ways to help move yourself forward in your career, just all kinds of things to help you. So again, I'm dropping the link on Wednesday to join the group, but I can't wait to see you. And hopefully, I know y'all gonna all be there. So like this, share this, tag your friends. If you've been talking about it, tag your friends so we can get together and do this. We're gonna even do some financial book clubs. We're gonna review some books and see what we can extract and make work for us as Black women, because all advice is not good advice for everyone. It could be good advice, but it may not apply to you. It may be good advice for somebody else, and it may sound good. And we're going to get through some. I know some of y'all sending me TikTok videos, Instagram videos, Facebook videos, Reels, all this. What about this? What about that? What do you think about this? And we're going to stop making decisions on 30-second snapshots, 60-second snapshots that we see on these platforms, because we got to make decisions on more. We got to know that it's our job to keep educating ourselves, keep educating ourselves. Now, if you're already in one of my Facebook groups, if you're already in Melanin and Money, if you're already in Millionaire Ladies Mob, don't worry, you won't miss out. You're still going to get it. I'm going to stream to those groups too. But We're going to have some things that are only going to be in the Sister Sense community. So you may want to be in both or all three, but that's up to you. We're going to dig deep. So let's get ready. Let's go. Let's get excited. Put this in the chat, like, share, tag me, do all the above, because we are going to kill 2024 with our finances. We're going to come in like a lightning bolt and we're just going to take it by storm. So, but we got to do it together, because as we build this, not just community, as this movement, as this force, as this powerful group of women who are going to be able to walk away from here and say, I got not only to get my money right, but maybe we get you direction to start a business. That's what you want to do. Maybe we get you to where you do another part-time job. If that's what you want to do. Maybe we get you to where you're able to help empower your kids. It just depends on what you want to do. But I'm going to give you all the benefits and we're going to make it happen. So it's your girl, Saran. Peace, love, and light. Let's get that money right. Bye.